welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what up though? My name is Jessica Lauren and I am super passionate about helping goal getters ditch those excuses, do the work, and make ish happen. So if you are into getting your mind together, getting your life together, productivity, planning, goal setting, then you are in the right spot. So if you could do me a favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all of that jazz. It really does help a sister out. So y'all, what are we talking about in today's video? Today is a lovely October reset. Now, if you're not familiar with what a reset is, go ahead and check out the video above, and it's all about like what a reset is and how to perform one in your own life. But basically, it's just you sitting back and reflecting on what worked well, what didn't work, what needs to start, stop, improve, your favorite memories. You're just reflecting over the month that's passed so that you're not tripping on into a new month carrying the same habits, routines, all that jazz, unless there was good habits and routines, right? It's just something that I like to do right before a new month starts to help me prepare myself for a new month and just reflect and just figure out, am I aligning with my goals and my dreams and all of that jazz. So let's get on into it. So I first like to start off with my favorite memories of the month. September was a pretty good month. I ain't gonna lie. One of my favorite memories just literally happened 2 days ago. I'm mad at my business. I'm sitting downstairs. Will is in his office. Me and my son, we sitting down having lunch. And you know, when you look at your phone, it's like missed call from somebody in Austin, Texas. And I'm like, who I know in Austin? I got friends everywhere. So I'm just like, who is this? They leave a voicemail because I don't answer no phone calls I don't know. And you know how you could read the voicemail? It was just like, this is so-and-so from Zen Business. And I'm like, huh. Now, recently, there's been some new requirements that the federal government is requiring all business owners. You have to file this certain paperwork by this certain time to prove that you're a business owner. And Zen Business is the corporation that I use to help me create my LLC. So I'm like, dang, they must not know that I did it on my own. They offered it as a service as far as this new requirement is concerned. They were like, hey, we can do it for you. I did a little research and was like, no, I'm gonna do it myself. So when I got the voicemail, they were just like, hey, we want to talk to you, whoop the bam. So I'm like, what is this? So I called a number back and the young lady answers the phone. She's like, hey, is this Jessica? Yes, girl, who is this? This is so-and-so with Zen Business. And I am happy to announce that you are the winner of our grant this month. Y'all, I am the recipient of a grant from Zen Business, which is it. When I tell y'all I cried, like I acted a fool on that phone, and she was just on the other ear like, are you okay? Like, no girl, I have been praying for this. I've been working hard. One of my biggest goals, and I talked a little bit about it in the last reset, was to focus on the business of my business, like put on my CEO hat and get down to the numbers, do those tasks that are unsexy, right? We all love content creation, right? We love getting on camera and doing our little reels and TikToks and all that stuff. But in order for a business to scale, to grow, to be sustainable, you have to sometimes put on your thinking cap, put on your big girl drawers and look at the numbers and just do the unsexy thing. For me, one of my biggest goals all year, but really in September, was to focus on grants. We are now approaching grant season, and I'm about to do a video on that to help you guys figure out where to find grants and all of that stuff. But we're approaching grant season. Companies have to get rid of money towards the end of the year. And so this is a good time for you to start researching it. So I was just like, you know what? If I have to scale back on content creation, I'm willing to do that because I have some ish to do. So I've been applying for grants here and there, just kind of willy-nilly. But again, this month I did a business reset. You can check out that video here where I just was like, I have to make some hard decisions in my business and where we're moving forward. So like I said, Zen Business have been emailing me like, hey, this piece of paper is due on this. Do you want us to do it? Do you want us to do it? Do you want us to do it? At the bottom in the email, and like the smallest of print, it was like, apply here for a grant. I was like, okay, cool, click, whatever. The application had to have been maybe 25 questions long. And it was like 8 o'clock at night. It was gonna be due like in 2 days. Like just one of those situations, right? Just like, I really don't feel like doing this, because when you apply for grants, they're asking you like, what are you gonna do with this money? Break it down for us. How much have you made so far? What did you do to do that? What's your marketing plan? What's your revenue plan? Like, it's some heavy hitting questions, but luckily God is so faithful, because he had been putting it on my heart. I just been having this inkling, girl, sit down and just know that stuff, right? And we've all seen Shark Tank, and I used to watch this show called The Profit. I listened to the pitch, so I know I need to know that stuff off the top of my head. So I had already been kind of dusting that stuff off, like, okay, let me run this through ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the girl. She will help you. Like, I'll be like, here are my sales from this fall. What are your predictions? Like, they just help me do all the mathy type of stuff. So the grant application is like 20 questions long, which isn't super long, maybe 25. But you know, late in the midnight hour when you're tired and you've been ripping and running all day, it's kind of like the last thing you wanted to do. And in this situation, I think the grant was like due in a few days. But I was just like, you know what? I said I was going to put on my CEO hat. Grants are free money. I am about to go into launch season. There are some things that I want to do for the business, and whatever the case may be, just do it. So I sit down, I grab my bio, rework some of that. I have some of my grant answers saved from other grants that I've applied to that I've won. So what I do is copy and paste. I put in some numbers into ChatGPT. I let it, you know, like add some of those revenue questions. What are my projections? All of those things. So AI does, like, I understand that people are definitely afraid of AI, and to some degree we should be, but baby, while the getting is getting good, honey, I'd be like, hey, help me figure out the more technical aspects of my business. And it did, and I won the grant. That whole long story was to say that I got the grant. So that was my favorite memory, is just being on the phone crying with that lady, and she's like, okay, you got to set this up, do this, send us this paperwork to get this money. It'll be here in 5 to 7 business, whatever the case may be. I'm just literally crying, because I was just, I'm always, even though I'm like super excited and motivated and really positive, there's a voice in the back of my head that's like, why are you still doing this? Like, I've been doing this since 2015, some fat, whether it be a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, and it's just like, is my living in vain? Like, Lord, what is it? Should I give up, or should I just keep chasing pavements? And when I'm seriously considering giving up, God will come in every time and just be like, nah. He'll give you a sign like, it's okay. Yeah, it's hard. Entrepreneurship is just hard, and balancing that with life and, you know, just trying to do all the things, it gets hard. So yeah, there are going to be seasons where you're like, why the hell am I doing this? But to have somebody, and the lady said, she was like, thousands of people apply, first of all. And she was like, we picked you and 2 other people. She was like, there were very deserving businesses, very deserving founders, but we put your application in front of a board of committees. They saw your work on YouTube. They saw your podcast. They saw it, and they chose you. You gonna get some free money just because you, one, asked for it. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't afraid to show up and say, I'm gonna put my business out there, fill out an application. And here we are. So my favorite moment from this month is just being seen and being validated and being reassured that even though some of these steps may take a couple months, take a couple years, I'm still in the right direction. So that was such a beautiful, beautiful moment that I'm so grateful to be the recipient of. And I'll be sure to do a video to teach you how you could get some free money and where to look for it at. So that is my fave memory from the month of September for sure. And I was in this room. I'm trying to figure out, should I put that footage in this or in a vlog? It might be in a vlog, whatever, but you'll see it soon of me just being like, Y'all, I am floored right now. I'm sorry if you cricket, you on my phone. I had to grab the first camera available. Y'all, I just got a call that I just received a grant. I just won a grant. I just won a grant. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get y'all together. Okay, so what were my goals for the month of September? I told you to do a business reset, to just sit down and figure out what the heck was going on in my business and what direction I wanted to take it in. You could definitely check out that video. It's up here. Click. It's somewhere. It's in the description. It's somewhere. It's on my channel. So I did that. I successfully did that. I didn't say that in the last video, but you know how you be having them come to Jesus moments like, Lord, what we doing? Come on. And we did, and I made some tough decisions that I feel pretty solid in. My other goal for September that I am like 75% done with is completing the design for the planner. I feel like I've been saying this in every reset since July. And baby, it's the truth. It's some goals that you're like, oh, I could do that in 6 weeks. Oh, I could do that in a month. Oh, I could do that in 2 weeks. It just takes long. You know what I'm saying? Especially because all of us are juggling something. I am a stay-at-home mom with a toddler. I'm juggling that, juggling this, juggling YouTube, da-da-da. I am not unique. There are other stay-at-home moms. There's regular moms, full-time moms. You might be a student, a caregiver. You might just be a person moving and shaking in this world. So, you know, when we're setting goals, of course we have to have deadlines and benchmarks and milestones, but it is also okay for you to push some of them deadlines back and just, you know, like just give yourself a little bit of grace, because life is life, and especially now. It's inflation, it's wars, we got presidential elect. It's a stressful time, right? So I would say I'm about 70% done with the design. Why am I only 70% done? First of all, that 70%, it looks so good. I'm really proud of it. I'm excited to show you guys it. The other reason is because a few people have been asking me about dark mode planners for the iPad. And it's like, you know what? That makes sense. It's a few things, and I have to learn restraint. I've been taking this graphic design class, and the teacher, she's been saying restraint is your best friend. And sometimes when you're staring at the blank page, you're like, I can add this, I can add this, I can add this. Even though I have my plans of what is already going to be in the design, I'll be like, but what if should I add? And that's what's pulling me, that's what's like making me take a little bit longer, is because I'm trying to make it perfect and better and the best, when my goal was to make it simple, efficient, not overwhelming, for it to be something, a tool, so that me and my audience, because listen, me and my customers, because I'm going to use it, I use the other one, something that, a tool that they can use, we can use to help us knock ish out the park, to help us knock things off of the to-do list. And sometimes when you add too many bells and whistles, you can't really see the trees from the forest from the trees, whatever. You can't really do what you gotta do because of all of that. So I'm like, don't get distracted, stay focused. But I am working on the dark mode version and a few other little accessory. Definitely still on track for launching and all that jazz, so I'm not too worried about that. I just wanted to be 100% done by the time I got to this video, but we're at like 75%. So did I reach that goal in the month of September? No, that's my flop for the month, but I still feel pretty confident about it because I'm still on track to do what the hell I gotta do for that. What were my other goals for this month? I was really trying to focus on preschool with my little one, and just focus on doing his worksheets and reading activities and language skills and going to his little preschool class. So we've been doing that. I feel really confident about where he is with his language skills, so that's a pretty big deal to me. What was my other goal, honey? Let me see. Oh, my birthday plans. That's kind of flopping too. Y'all, I want to do it big, but I really don't. My birthday is October 31st. If you're new here, it's on Halloween. I'm going to be honest, as a mom and an entrepreneur and trying to run this household and trying to be a content creator, by the time there's time to focus on me, i.e. my birthday, it's like I don't want to think about that. It's like I still am suffering from mom fog. Like my brain can only hold pertinent, important, urgent information. If it is not important, pertinent, or urgent information, it kind of falls to the wayside. And you know, I turned 40 on Halloween. I know my birthday is a big deal. But I'm also like, I am in the middle of launch. I am, you know, like, So I haven't really planned. I have a loose plan for my birthday. I think my sister's coming in town. And the reason why I'm just like looking off reflectingly out into the trees is just like, Jessica, do not wait too late, so that on October 17th, October 30th, you're scrambling, you're gonna feel away because all we did was, like, I don't want to hear that about myself. And I'm just like, don't be so girl bossy. I came up in the girl boss era where it was like, you sacrifice everything, no days after. Don't be such a girl boss where you miss your birthday. So I'm going to plan something for my birthday. It doesn't have to be major or big, but I need to figure that out, you know what I'm saying, and not leave it up in the hands of Will or somebody. Like, what do I want to do for my birthday? And I think it's also hard because I don't necessarily think about what I want pleasure wise. It's always like, what do I want for my son? What do I want for my family? What do I want for my business? When it comes to me individually, I'm just like, girl, I don't got time. But I know, thanks to Carrie from Sex and the City, Samantha from Sex and the City, the most important relationship that I'll ever be in is with myself. So I need to treat myself a little bit better and figure out my birthday. So I am going to do that. I promise y'all, please hold me accountable. I got a few birthday twins that be in the comments. Akila, if you're watching this. There's a few others that's like, my birthday October 31st too. So please leave me ideas. Can we share birthdays? That's typically what I do. My friend Brandy's birthday is a couple days before me. We typically go, like, whatever she got planned for her birthday, I do it with her. And that's I don't steal the spotlight. Clearly it's her birthday, but I'd be like, well, we did this, that was the to do right there. So I gotta figure this out. I'm gonna call Brandy like, girl, what you doing for your birthday? Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, so what worked well this month? Waking up at 4 a.m. Some days I woke up at 3:30. And I know that there's this trend on social media of people like, I ain't waking up at 4. It's really parents that's like, I'm not waking up at 4 to get peace of mind from my kids. I'm waking up when they wake up because I need my rest. That is all very true. I need my rest too, trust me. And to be honest, the reason why I'm a little bit far behind is because I have been making that decision. Like, you know what, 4 a.m. is a little bit extreme. Let me sleep in with the boys till like 6:30 and then get the day going. But again, I'm like, I need to be consistent on YouTube. I need to be consistent with this launch. Get your ass up. So I've been waking up at 4 for the most part every day, give or take, if not 4:30, and just coming to work, just sitting here doing what needs to be done. Do I be tired? Absolutely. But I do feel more accomplished, and I feel like I'm more present with my family because I already did the hard stuff in the morning. So that's been working. As far as what needs to stop, it's always my phone. It's always scrolling. I think I do better some days than not, but just like anybody, you just get trapped by your phone. Just like, oh, I'm at a red light, let me scroll. Oh, I'm stuck in the line at Target, let me scroll. And I remember listening to a podcast a couple years ago where it was like, nobody's bored anymore, right? So you're wondering like, why do I feel so out of touch with myself? Why am I not feeling creative? Why am I... Baby, because you're always distracted. You always own something. You always doing it. I talked about this a few times on the channel. That's something that I really struggle with. And what I will say is not Instagram and TikTok. I'm a YouTube girly. Like, I will sit and watch vlogs or watch baby, I'm still on them gossip channels, just trying to figure out like scandals, you know what I'm saying? So like any phenomenon that's happening, like that TikTok wedding drama with the makeup artist who felt really entitled, I be watching a breakdown of that. The Mr. Beast saga, I just be curious. But that's taking up precious time. I don't do it as much, but I still just want to not have to need to be entertained all the time. That bothers me so much, to the point where I kind of am toying around with the idea of just like taking everything off my phone and making like social media the most inconvenient thing for me to consume. Like, take out my laptop or my iPad to log on. No, like, who does that? And because of that, maybe it'll help me scroll less, but that's always on my what needs to stop, is to stop with the scrolling. As far as what needs to start, I need to get back active, get back into stretching and yoga and the gym. I feel like I say this every month, but it's the truth. And I feel like all of us struggle with this, with being consistent, because again, it's like when you're juggling so many balls, some balls just drop. And for me, it's always the gym or yoga classes, but I definitely need to get back on that. I can feel it. And child, my son want to do a lot of froggy and rabbit stuff. He'll be like, get down, mama, with me and hop. That is hurt. Like, I'll be like, crack, pop, so I need to get all that together. So that's my what went well, what flopped, what needs improving, what needs to stop, and what needs to start. I think I did them all. Okay, so what are my goals for October? My main goal, obviously, finish the design, but the biggest one is start working on my launch strategy, photo shoots, and really just figuring out the marketing aspect of it. Luckily, with this grant through Zen Business, they have office hours where every week you could come in and talk to an expert, whether it be about marketing, e-commerce, all of that jazz. So I really plan on utilizing that because I need to figure that out. A lot of us think that content marketing is the only marketing, like, oh, I'll just make a video about it and pray for the best. What I'm really trying to focus on is my Pinterest strategy. I don't know if y'all are Pinterest girlies or not, but you should be. My old page used to get millions of views each month. Even though that's not a huge deal, it would still send a lot of traffic my way. I got clients through Pinterest. But the last time I used Pinterest heavy was probably like 2019. So this is a brand new page and I just need to relearn the lay of the land. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing, this is the other camera. So I'm like, how much time I got left? The other one is cooling down. So I'm definitely going to be figuring out my launch strategy. Like, just how do I level up on Pinterest? How do I leverage YouTube? Like, just figuring all of that stuff out. What do I want to for the photo shoot to look like? Also, I really need to finalize this whole dilemma of if I'm going to have some physical products. We talked about it in the business reset video of how I'm getting rid of the physical planners, but does that mean I need to get rid of like small notepads so that I'm a hybrid planner? I'll plan on my iPad, but there are still times where I'll rip out a sheet of paper and write. So that's my idea, is like, what if I came out with smaller products? So that's my goal for October, is to really focus on that. Obviously celebrate my birthday, and that's pretty much my October goals. Okay, now let's get into some of the fun stuff. Let's get into the content corner. What did I watch, listen to, and read for the month of September? Okay, so let's talk about the books that I read this month. This month I only did 2 books. I tried to get to 3. Some months, I think in the past I've done like 4, but this month again, I've been focused, man. So reading has been kind of like, and I kind of got into a slump, and we'll talk about that. So the first book that I read this month is called The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I have been in my thriller bag. I think I'm just a thriller girly. I just love a whodunit, like a what? And I really like Lucy Foley books because they're set over in Europe. So it's like England, Ireland, whatever the case may be. The Hunting Party, I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It was fun. It's just about this group of posh friends from London. They're like, we want to go on a retreat. They all went to college together, and you get to see these dynamics of like what it's like to show up as friends as adults. And how we show up in the roles that we had as kids. So like, if you were like the nerd, but now you're like this savvy attorney in the city, how you degrade, like you melt back down to the nerd or whatever. So all of these people have all had some entanglement with one another, and just that like friends type situation where you just like, did they sleep together? Who slept together? Who's married? All of that jazz is going on. And they're in this resort that's a cabin. Like in the winter time, it's like this gnarly storm going on, and somebody comes up murdered. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. And somebody comes up not alive anymore. And so you're trying to figure out like which of the friends did it and which of the friends is no longer with us. I think that's so much fun. Out of all of her books, so I read The Paris Apartment, The Guest List. I've read all her books at this point. This one wasn't my favorite, but it was still a fun listen. Out of her series, I think I like the guest list and Paris apartment the most. I just really like how she sets up her scenes. I always feel like I'm in the resort with these people. I hate these people, but I love to hate them in like that like scandalous way. Like, ugh, you know how you feel like when you watch like Real Housewives, you know, you're like, oh, I can't stand Lisa Vanderpump, or I can't stand whoever, but you still be like, girl, go off. You know what I'm saying? That's the vibe it gave. So it was predictable, but sometimes I like that. I just like thrillers. So who did the bad stuff to the friend was a complete surprise. I didn't see that coming, so I enjoyed it. But you know, I had four other of her books to compare it to, and because of that, it just got a 3.5. But I still really enjoyed it. I just couldn't give it a 4 because it wasn't like, oh my gosh. I feel like the other ones was like, ooh girl. This one was like, ooh girl, but not 4 stars worth. Okay, the next book that I am still reading is called You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. This book, it is the most messiest, scandalous book ever. This is not a thriller. It is a romance. And I picked it up. It had always been on my radar. But Shanae C. Schroeder, who is a booktuber that I love, she randomly mentioned it in a book haul. She was just like, it's romance, but it's romance meets love and hip hop. And I used to be a love and hip hop girly. I am a reality whore. Like, I will watch reality TV all day long, but I kind of got out of the love and hip hop train. And now I'm more of, I still do Bravo, but I really like TLC, you know, like That Messy World, 90 Day Fiance. I'm into Love After Lockup. I do love my Selling Sun. Like, I'm into that mess. Love and hip hop, I kind of stopped once it got to Miami. Like, I was like, I'm just not interested. Same vibes with this. I don't care too much for the characters. The premise of the book I really like, but I just don't like these people. The premise is there's a young, beautiful black queen or whatever. She's a gorgeous girl, 29, I think, living in New York with her best friend. Total Sex and the City vibes, right? Something happens. I think it's on the back of the book, but I still don't want to spoil it. Something happens in her life. Faye, her name is Faye. Something happened in Faye's life that traumatizes her, rightfully so. And because of that trauma, we see her like 5 years later in New York, living it up, doing her Sex and the City thing. It's so messy, right? I live for mess. I am not approved by any means, baby. I get down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? I am here for shenanigans. But this book is so shenanigan. It is so just like, girl, get your act together. You know what I'm saying? Like when I don't know if you guys read Queenie or Luster, how like the girls was outside and they were making awful choices that you wanted to just wring their necks and be like, girl, you could do better than this. Like, wake up. This girl is kind of making some really poor choices in my opinion, but I don't care to shake her up. Like, I think that the author, in my humble opinion, for me, made her a little bit 2D. Like, she has a few layers, but it's very surface, if that makes sense. And I love the psychology. I love the why, like getting into that and uncovering it. Like when you read, what's that Tia Williams book? 7 Days in June. You know the why, like why this is going on. And you're like, ooh, child. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. You get to know it, but it didn't like pull me. Like, it didn't just get me. Like when I read Kennedy Ryan books, Before I Let Go, and the other one was Soledad, baby, I could not get to my phone. I do a lot of audiobook listening. I couldn't get to my ebook or my physical copy soon enough because it was like, I care about them. Like, girl, what is you gonna do? Who you gonna pick? What's happening? Are y'all gonna get back together? I would go days without reading this book and I was okay with that. So it's kind of creeping into the do not finish territory. I don't want it to, but it kind of is. I'm a power through because I am 70% done. It's a fun read, but I just don't care. Very much like how it is watching Love and Hip Hop. You'd be like, dang, that's crazy, but I don't care. Like, you can live without it. But would I still recommend it? If you want a steamy, scandalous, girls getting a groove on type book, absolutely yes. But if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, you can still read it. It's just I be want to go deep, baby. I'm a Scorpio. Tell me everything about your brain, okay? Okay, what did I watch in September? I watched The Perfect Couple. Y'all, I love when white folks is messy, honey. That was like a fun little show. Don't ever have to watch it again. You know, it was just like, oh, okay, just like a Lifetime situation about this family that's vacationing in Nantucket, and it's a whodunit, and it has some infidelities going on, some cheating, some money laundering. It was just like all over the place. It's with Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber from Ray Donovan and Manchurian Candidate, and Dakota Fanning is a grown woman in it, so it's fun to see her do it. It was a fun cast. It really put you in the mind of White Lotus. I don't know if y'all watched White Lotus. That was fun both seasons. It's just one of those like shows like The Perfect Stranger or The Undoing with Nicole Kidman or Big Little Lies. Like, I love all those shows. They're just fun. I just love Scandal. Just like, ooh. So that was a fun watch. What would I get at out of 5 stars? That was a 3. That was just like, oh, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've seen better. First of all, I watched Succession. You know what I mean? And this show called Mother, Father, Son. Like, when I say I like white messy families, I want them to be messy and like really powerful. This one was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? What else did we watch? We are on season 3 of The Bear, which is cool because they pretty much swept the Emmys. I don't think they swept in the right categories. However, they swept for comedies and beat out Abbott. The Bear is not a comedy. It's much like Shameless. It's like some funny aspects, but it's actually kind of a heavy show. But baby, the cinematography, the food. I don't know if y'all know this. I am a Top Chef girly, Chef's Table girly. I used to date a huge foodie here in Chicago. So I've gone to a ton of those like modern, super sleek, you know, Michelin star, James Beard Award. Like I'm really fascinated by that culture. I love cooking. I watch like Food Network just be on in the background. So The Bear is really up my alley. Even my other ex before this ex was into the food and bar scene. He worked in wineries and restaurants and was trying to work his way up the court. Like, I've been in that scene. So it's just really interesting to see that perspective, having been living with someone that was in that industry behind the scenes and being a patron of those type of restaurants. But I used to be really heavy in the food scene here in Chicago. It's a huge food scene. But I really like The Bear. I really love Jeremy Allen White. I really love Ayo. Strong cast. Really just poignant show. It's starting to get a little bit depressed. Like, you can't binge that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, ooh, it gets heavy, you know what I'm saying? But I like seeing the behind the scenes of someone chasing their dreams to be a Michelin star restaurant, and how to motivate other people to get in on your dreams, how to not chase perfection. It's just a really good show. And finally, child, I done started the secret lives of these Mormon mamas, baby. First of all, I already knew the story. When all these Mormon moms was out here wilding and swinging and all that, back in 2020 or 2021, I was seated for that TikTok drama. Y'all know that girl on TikTok with the braces, when she was breaking it down. That's how I found her. It was during this drama. So it's so funny to see them kind of cleaned up the show. I'm only like 2 episodes in. It's hard to binge stuff just because mom life, but I am seated. I am here for messy stuff. I haven't started Real Housewives of Salt Lake City yet. That's one of my faves that I haven't seen this season yet, but I'm excited to. That's it. That's my little content corner. I had a little bit of thrillers, a little bit of scandalous families, and all that jazz. So y'all, that is it for my reset. Thank you so much for tuning in. I pray that October is a magical month for you, that all the things that you've been praying and hoping for start coming to fruition. I pray that God surprises you with some beautifully positive, just encouraging surprises. That it just be a fun-filled month and all that jazz. Yeah, I'm gonna be the big 40, which is crazy. Like, what? I don't feel 40 at all, except for when I'm trying to bend down with that little baby. That's when I feel 40. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me for this reset. I wish you all well. Like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that jazz, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Never seen it like this, didn't think it existed. truly. Don't get in the way, she's not here to play, she'll get moody.